Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Budgeting for Future. Today I will be showing you how to get out of your car lease with 7 easy steps. I'll be sharing with you our personal experience and things you probably need to know before you go ahead and start the car lease selling process, because boy was it way more difficult than we thought it was going to be. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, just for some background, we did lease a car back in 2017. It was a 3-year-long lease and the monthly payments on it were $231. Now, when I originally signed up for this car lease, my thought was, well, I don't really know what I want to buy, but I do need a car, so I guess I'll just do a car lease. Terrible decision, and we are definitely never going to be doing it again. I did know that once the car lease was done, I would have the opportunity to purchase the car for $15,500, and so I went ahead and just signed on the dotted line. When we found out that we were pregnant, we decided that the car lease no longer really made sense. It was really eating into our budget, costing us over $200 every single month, and we thought that we should figure out how to get out of it. Now, for us and our family, there were 3 viable options for how to get out of this car lease. The first would have been to potentially find someone to transfer the car lease name to. We thought this one would be fairly difficult because how do you convince someone else to have a car lease when you think it's a bad idea? So we went ahead and just nixed that one. The second was to buy the car and then hopefully sell the car afterward, which ended up being the decision that we did make. And then the third was to just send back the leased car. And when talking to the dealership, we found out that the only way we could do that is if we just paid all of the lease payments for the next 2 years right up front, and then they would take the car back. So you would pay all the money that you planned on paying in the next 2.5 years. You just wouldn't have a car anymore, which seemed super dumb. So we did not do that one either, because we just didn't see how that would make any sense for us. Now, the 7 steps we had to take in order to sell this car are as follows. The first one was figuring out exactly how much the car would cost us to buy outright. Now, we did do our financed lease through GM Financial because it is a Buick, and I talk in the present tense because we never ended up selling the car, but I'll save that for a little bit later in the video. We did have to reach out specifically to GM Financial, the actual people we had the lease with, instead of our dealer, because they really weren't sure. We did find out that it was right around $18,134. The next thing we had to do was get a certified check. And the way they explained to us was that we would just have to get the certified check and mail it off to them. So that's what we did. And then we waited, and we waited, and we waited. And we never heard anything. In fact, they never even showed that they had ever received that check from us. I ended up having to call over and over and over again to figure out exactly how to get out of this dang lease, even after we had given them over $18,000. I finally, after a month and a half, found out that we had originally been told how to do the process incorrectly, which is why I'm wanting to share this video with you today. We found out that we had to provide the company with a purchase titling statement as well as an odometer statement. They originally told us that we could just make up the statement, send it off to them, and that would be perfect. It's not. They had specific documentation in which they had to provide us that we then had to fill out. Months later, after us giving them the money, we were able to fill out both of these statements. The first, the odometer statement, just was a statement saying this is how many miles are on the car, so that they could fill out some of their financial documentation in order to give us the bill of sale of the car. Now, the purchase titling statement was just a statement detailing out the new owner of the car. They needed my name and my address in order to fill out more documentation that apparently they didn't know that they needed to. So my first tip to you is to make sure you figure out exactly what they need before you send them any money. So for you guys, step number 1, find out the purchase price. Step number 2, send the money they've requested as well as any relevant documentation they need in order to sell you the car. Step number 4, which was also another problem we ran into, was to stop the automatic payments that were coming through. Now, I had my $231 just automatically drafted out of my account every month, and I assumed after we had paid them and they had given us the bill of sale proving that they had sold us the car, that they would no longer be directly taking money out of my bank account every month, and they did not. So I did have to call them again in order to stop that automatic payment. Step number 5, being receiving of the bill of sale. That documentation says exactly how much you bought the car for and that the purchase has fully been transacted. You'll need that paperwork in order to actually move the title of the car into your name. Step number 6 is then going to your Secretary of State or a DMV, depending on the state that you live in, and actually getting the title transferred into your name. Funny enough, when we went to the DMV, we ended up being asked who would now own the car, and they were shocked that we had said that we now owned the car. They just kind of assumed that we had taken out a new loan to get out of the car lease, which is definitely an option, but would probably be a lot more confusing since there are so many steps in the process of getting out of a car lease. Step number 7, once you officially own the car in every name, you can go ahead and try and sell your vehicle. Now, we did try and sell ours, and we had it on the market for over 60 days, and we got a few bites here and there, but no one actually ended up wanting to buy our car. So we do own it to this day, and if you've seen any of my other videos on my channel, you know that we're working on paying back the money that we borrowed from a family member in order to get out of the car lease originally. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you'd like to see more content from me, definitely consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!